This is the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
Good morning, Grant. It's Wednesday.
Woo-hoo!
What does that mean, Grant?
Hump day.
Oh, hump day. That's what it is, baby. Oh, we are loving life this morning on the Bax Grant Sports Show. So many exciting things happening on the show today. We've got power rankings up the wazoo. Yes,
yeah,
I said
do.
Wazoo. The wazoo. How do you even spell wazoo? W-A-Z-O-O-O-O-O-O?
I was thinking double Z.
Double Z. Got
wazoo.
It's like 4-3 wazoo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you should add that into your PA.
I might add that in. Yeah, that's a wazoo 3. Cedarburg would be like, "What are you doing?" Be like, "Yeah, just stop. Don't worry about it." I might work that into a volleyball broadcast or something.
There you
just
go.
To mess with people.
Or like if you like ever do it for like. Because around the area, for people that don't know the Wisconsin area, if you've ever heard of Wisconsin weird names, like town names, we have a lot of those. So if or if you go to like Wapaka or
it's Wapaka,
okay, stop.
It's Wapaka. I know it's Ashwaubenon. That's where I grew up. Was Ashwaubenon.
Oh, you did grow up in Ashwaubenon. Oh, that's cool.
I did. Yeah.
But yeah, so for like Wapaka, it's the Wapaka Wazoo 3 or something.
Oh,
you could
for
make
a hockey
it
team or something,
or like for anything.
Oh, gosh.
Work it in any way
just
to
having
confuse
I could do
everybody.
that. I could absolutely do that. Kind of like how we work our times and dates and schedules and social medias around with our show as well. You know, like working it in somehow. You got to do it. Like but we're excited. We've got a great show that we've got coming on for you today. We'll be joined a little bit later on in the program by Chris Gibbons. Some of you that listen to the show in the springtime, you'll remember Chris. He stopped by and offered some insights on the NFL world. He'll be talking about Batgate because we coined the term yesterday saying maybe they'll call it Batgate, and they are.
I saw it and I about threw my computer.
There's no reason to make another gate out of some stupid play that KJ Wright had a ball and hit it out of bounds.
And then I found an article that I will.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Yes, we'll have him, and then we'll be joined by Luke Sabald in the program a little bit later as well. For those of you that are around the Milwaukee area that know, he's had a fantastic playing career in college. He also has had some opportunities to work out for some NFL scouts, and he took his talents over to Europe as well. So that's going to be a fun interview you're not going to want to miss as well. Well, before we get to any of that, we do want to take a quick moment to remind you that you can catch us right here on Spreaker.com and Periscope from 7 to 8 a.m. Central. Good morning to all of you watching on Periscope. Sorry, we started a wee bit later today than we normally did. We've got new equipment, a new board. We got a new producer. Our producer, Danny, is with us this morning. So good morning, Danny. Great to have you here on the show with us. We appreciate your input this morning and technical skills.
You're welcome, Baxter.
Thank you, Danny. He's a man of few words, but we love him, and he makes us sound hopefully prettier than we already did. So.
Oh, yeah, and his voice was like super deep, and he was saying stuff into the mic this morning, and I'm like, oh, the deep chocolate velvety voice.
Wow.
It is nice.
Going to a smooth jazz career, Danny.
Yeah,
that's
he
why we
should.
love him.
Like only in the morning. So his strict morning shows at 6 a.m.
Like, good morning.
Yeah, and once he warms up, then people just leave.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, sorry. It's
not worth it anymore.
Yep, exactly. Now, an interesting thing, Grant, that I want to get the show going on with before we do that, though, where are we on social media?
You can find us on social media at the Bax and Grant Sports Show on Facebook and also on Twitter and Instagram at BG Sports Show, and on Twitter, Baxter is at Baxter Colburn, and I am at Grant's Rant BGSS.
Yes, indeed. And if you ever want to get a hold of the show, you can shoot us an email at bgsportshow@gmail.com. Our first segment today, courtesy of Corey Plath, one of our good friends that's part of the show and helps with a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff as well. He's like, hey, don't we have a power ranking system or something that goes along with the Bax and Grant Sports Show Fantasy Football League? I was like, well, yes, we do. He's like, you should do a segment on that. I was like, you know what? Maybe I will. So we are. So we're looking at it.
So it's happening.
It's happening. Well, for those of you that do know, we have a Bax and Grant Sports Show Fantasy Football League. There's 12 teams in it. We have a gaggle of folks that are involved with the show, and the power rankings that you can generate each week basically are all out. Are you all right there, Grant?
Yeah, it was a gaggle. I was a gaggle of geese.
Like, you're like flying away. I was like, what did I say?
Yeah, because a gaggle is a gaggle of geese.
Okay, a gaggle of geese. That's what Grant went for
So
that one. That's fine. I just was making sure you were okay. That I said something.
Mascot idea, the gaggling geese.
Where are they going to be from?
Gagala? Some weird place in Florida.
Probably. Florida's got all kinds of weird things. Gainesville, the Gainesville gaggling geese.
There you go.
Perfect.
And then it could be
Triple G.
Like the giggling geese. So then the logo is like a laughing goose.
Should be like the Aflac bird or something. That would
Or
be
like
good.
the new commercial with like the geese and their phones that don't get enough internet connection
That's
or something,
the
or
struggle.
like
Yes.
like connection to a tower. So there you go.
There you
They're
go.
the gaggling geese.
Perfect. All right. Well, that nobody has the gaggling geese for a name in our fantasy football league
I
this
might
year.
change mine to that.
You might. You can. I think you can. So we're going to quickly review our power rankings before we move on to the next segment, which is Grant's Rant today, which is Wednesday, which you can always get Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the Bax and Grant Sports Show. All right. So in the power rankings, we have starting at 12th place, we have the Houston Oilers, courtesy of Connor Christensen. He has started off 1-3. Not the greatest start to the season for Connor. You just took him down this last weekend
Yes, I
as
did.
well, so
Yes, I
you
did.
prevented him from going to 2-2. And 11th place is straight out of ACLs.
I love that name.
Matt,
Like every time.
Matt Evans, one of our soccer guys on the show. He's 0-4, but he managed to get to 11th, so the ESPN Power Rankings liked him just enough. The man we all need to keep an eye out for, though, the Fort Wayne Vandals, that would be David Kenyon. He he had a great draft. He got an A+ from ESPN in his draft, but a lot of guys were on suspension or injured right away, so now his team's starting to come back together, so he's up to 10 this week.
He
in
could
the
make
Bax
a
and Grant
comeback.
Sports Show at a
He
1-3
can make
record.
he
Number
make a
9,
comeback.
the man who recommended the idea, Corey Plath, his Cortland Prosecutors are at 1-3. They're at 9th in our power rankings. Number 8, the Wolfpack, Joe Wolfrath and company, doing well as he always does. He is 2-2 on the season. He's 8th in our power rankings. Now, Grant, you come in at 70. Or
70?
70, yes.
Wow,
7.
I'm doing
Yes.
awful.
I know. You come in at 7th. That's what it is. You have a 2-2 record. The Hartford Whalers, a shout-out to an old hockey team you mentioned, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes. So
No longer
I love the
exists.
description that ESPN generated for you. They said 50-50 chance of making the playoffs, but there's only a 10% chance of that.
Right? I loved that.
It's like, what?
Yeah, the little comments, because they'll give you the team name and then the record and your rank, and then they'll give like a little comment about it, and it's always super sassy.
It's
and
great.
I love it.
The next one is the best one. It's for Zach Poppenfuss. He's 3-1 on the season, but he is 6th in the power rankings, and the description is middle of the road, like roadkill. I was like, ooh, that's awkward.
Awkward.
Number 5 on the power rankings to the Bax and Grant Sports Show Fantasy Football League from ESPN.com this week is Team Landvatter. They are in 5th place with a 2-2 record. The 4th is Sam Wallace, our running 101 expert that we will hear on Friday when he comes by the show. He is at 3-1. He is in 4th place overall. He's up 2 spots from last week. Our 3rd spot goes to our producer, Mr. Danny Hoffenstein.
Who's
He
been
is
killing it.
2-2 with the Pallet Town Monsters. Shout out to the Pokemon fans out there. Woo! Got to catch them all. He is 3-3. He's in 3rd place with a 2-2 record. I have fallen from 1st to 2nd. My Naples Flash are 3-1. And then in 1st place in the Bax and Grant Show Fantasy Football League is Run from the One. Only a Seahawk fan would have a team named like that. That is Chris Blakely. And, of course, the little thing that goes along with that, it says the rare case of a preseason favorite living up to the hype, which has been true. I mean, they're 4-0, and he's looked very good. I took on Chris this last week and unfortunately lost.
It was close
It
battle.
was. I didn't have some of my key guys show up for me, though, unfortunately, and it was a little unfortunate, but we still made do with what we had, and had a good time.
Oh yeah,
We're not going to
this
win
is
every
fun.
game.
No.
It's fantasy football. We
It's
enjoyed
fun.
it, but
not doing it before. It's actually fun. So if you haven't done it before because you think it's like too intense,
Yeah.
some people can get too intense. What you do is you go on ESPN. You don't have to pay anything.
if you're the league manager of your league, you can go to ESPN. Or are you talking about fantasy football as a whole?
Yeah,
I'm
fantasy
sorry. I thought
football.
you were talking about the power rankings aspect.
No.
Forgive me.
No, just fantasy football as a whole. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to go all out. You can grab a group of friends and just go and do it. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
So if you've never done it before, like myself,
You're doing well so far.
I actually
you're
recommend
1-3,
it.
but you're having a good time. So
I'm 2-2.
And you're 2-2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You were having such a cow before the beginning of the year. Like, I'm going to be awful. Even during the draft,
Yeah,
you were
because
like,
I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
you were living up to every stereotype during the draft. You're like, everyone's taking a kicker in the 8th round. Should I take a kicker? It's like, no, Grant.
because I've never and I didn't even know you could do a mock draft. So I've never. That was literally.
I was
my
doing mock
first
drafts.
fantasy
Sam
draft.
and Danny all did mock drafts. We had mock draft like wazoo, basically. Like we had
Wazoo!
so many mock drafts, and it didn't go at all like we planned.
Oh, when does it ever?
Well, because the thing is that so many. Yeah, Sam on Periscope says so many mock drafts because. The thing about doing a mock draft is great if the mock drafts actually draft like the people in your league, which they don't, because in the mock drafts, everybody took a running back in the first round. Everybody and their mother's mother was like, oh, running back. And I was like, second pick, Aaron Rodgers. Woo! And in our league, the first pick went to Megan Landvatter. She took Aaron Rodgers right away. So I was like, second pick. We didn't plan for this. What do I do? Adrian Peterson, sure. So I took him and made Connor mad, but I got Adrian Peterson.
Well, hey, I mean, I would have taken Adrian Peterson.
I offered Connor a trade right away, and he didn't take it, so that was his own fault.
It was probably for like his whole team for Adrian Peterson.
Well, I said I was going to trade him Adrian Peterson and Jarvis Landry for Marshawn Lynch and T.Y. Hilton.
I would have taken that if I were him.
I would have
because
too.
it would have gone better for him because Marshawn Lynch has not shown up this year.
Yeah, so I mean that would have worked out better for him.
So
but I
you
was
escaped.
like, maybe I will. I'll hold off on that, and I dodged that bullet, thankfully. So it's one of those things with fantasy football. You never know what exactly is going to happen. So one more time, really quick through our power rankings here on the Bax Grant Sports Show for our fantasy football league. Number 12, the Houston Oilers. 11, straight out of ACLs. 10, Fort Wayne Vandals. 9, Cortland Prosecutors. I know how to read. 8, the Wolfpack. 7, Hartford Whalers. 6, Detroit Area Nerdy Guys. 5, Team Landvatter. 4, Cuban Raft Riders. 3, Pallet Town Monsters. 2, Naples Flash. Woo! And number 1, Run from the One.
Yeah, you were off a number the entire
Did I miss?
time. Yeah, you were.
Who did I miss? Did I miss the Fort Wayne Vandals?
I don't know, but you were a number ahead of everybody. You said I was 7 when.
You are 7.
Well, you said I was 6 when I'm actually 7.
I was like, you are 7. I've only had like a fourth of my coffee.
So that's a problem.
So
we'll inject it into your veins.
I'm going to have to. While we go to a break, I'm going to have to start injecting coffee into my veins. And
we'll be right back as we work on that.
We're going to have to.
Shove it down his throat.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Grant is going to have his rant. You're not going to want to miss it. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant. Well, you know what time it is. It's a Wednesday edition of the Bax Grant Sports Show, which means it is time for Grant's Rant. I'm excited. Are you excited?
Oh, always. Today, looking last night for it, I was just, because I always, look around. I always got to be prepared. I'm like,
of course.
What should I rant about? Looking around, and I found this article on Facebook, because I can always find some pretty good sports articles on Facebook. So I go there first, actually, before ESPN.
Yes.
And I found one that somebody posted. I'm like, the title already set me on fire, because it went like, the title of the article, it's not the same as it is in ESPN, but it was like a title that somebody else wrote in, but I've been seeing it up around. It's not Deflategate. Oh my goodness!
Stop with Deflategate.
Deflategate.
You said those words. You are officially banned from the show. Good day, sir. I say good day.
Fail Mary ref.
Yes.
Consoles or going to console Batgate ref. I about lost it. I saw Batgate. I'm like, called it.
Yeah,
I
was
was just,
all right.
I'm like, it's not Batgate.
Well, you got to save it. You got to save it for the ref. So if you're ready for your rant, I believe that I'm ready for it. So we will have, we need to cue your theme music here, and then we'll be good to go. So Grant's rant. All right, Grant, the way, for those of you out there that don't know how Grant's rant works, Grant gets a minute to rant about anything he wants in the sports world, and he already kind of alluded to what he's going to rant about, but it's even more fun when he just belligerently speaks about it for a solid minute. So, all right, Grant, when you're ready, a minute on the clock, on your mark, get set, go.
All right, like I said, we're going to be talking about Batgate or Gate or whatever you want to call it, but now it's being called Batgate now, and we talked about it yesterday, Baxter, so I think we should sue whoever is coming up with this.
We didn't trademark it, though.
Totally trademark it. Hashtag suing, hashtag Gategate now, the gate of all the gates. But anyway, this article talked about Lance Easley, the Fail Mary referee, is now emailing Gregory Wilson, who is the quote-unquote Backgate referee. Said he was a mentor. Okay, do you need a mentor as a back judge? Is that really a thing? So the NFL, in my opinion, I think the NFL needs to figure out a way to handle some of these, these calls that are being blown, because teams are losing games. Could affect the season. It could really go well for the Seahawks. Same thing that happened to the Packers. That was a problem. Also, Pete Carroll said that he didn't know that you couldn't illegally bat the ball like that.
Time. What do you mean you can't? What?
He said he didn't know.
How do you not know? If you were a head coach in the NFL, should you not have a full understanding of the rules, even the simplest of rules?
I even knew that. It's the same as kicking.
I feel like a random passerby would be like, oh, there's a ball squirming around in the end zone. You can't just smack it out.
No. I already knew that. I knew that was a penalty.
So Pete Carroll's saying that, okay.
Yeah, and he said, but what he's still saying is he's saying it was a good play, so he would have done it anyway.
Of course he would have.
So then after he said that, I'm like, okay, that kind of leads me to believe that he actually didn't know, because he's saying he would have broken the rules anyway.
Come on, Pete.
So Batgate, there, another one. Batgate, and then a little interesting, scary, super depressing fact.
This part is a little over the top.
Yeah, a little bit. So Easley, the Fail Mary judge, or back judge thing, whatever. He was saying, when he was talking about emailing the back judge, Gregory Wilson, he was like, yeah, I know it's hard. It's really tough. He said in the past 3 years he has received death threats, diagnosed with PTSD, and has considered suicide.
All because he blew a Fail Mary call in the end zone.
So this obviously, because of the Fail Mary call.
So this obviously means, and I feel slightly upset about this, that these are Green Bay Packer fans that have caused this issue then for him.
Yeah, because who else would it be? It wouldn't be anybody
Seattle
else.
Seahawks fans probably were sending him boxes of chocolates and thanking him for his wonderful contribution to their season. So, first of all, if you're Green Bay Packer fans, what the heck?
Be ashamed of yourselves.
Come on. You do not do that. I get it. It's a game, okay? Yes, you were upset. You lost on a bad call, replacement refs. Sure. Get over that aspect of it.
But then at the same time, it's a game. It's not like your life is depending on it. Come on, guys. You should understand this by now.
Yeah, no, and that's the part that kind of floors me when I put two and two together. I was like, wait, he suffered from PTSD. He was suffering from these death threats that he was getting, all of this, and like that means that Green Bay Packer fans were the ones fueling this fire, and that's something that Packer fans have never been known for.
Yeah, really.
It sounds like something that you'd hear from a entirely
Bay
different organization at all. It's like I've heard Dallas fans doing this. I've heard Bear fans, Detroit fans, like everybody. Like I've heard of those fans. You never really hear about Green Bay fans attacking the refs or offering death threats, for gosh sakes.
Yeah, you always hear about when you go to Lambeau, everybody's super nice and everybody loves Packer fans, and that's like the cool thing that Packer fans have a reputation where they can get a little obnoxious sometimes because they love their team so much, but they don't go overboard about it. But this is 100% overboard.
Yeah, there's a line between professionalism and overboard, and this is completely overboard. I can get it. You can tweet at the ref. You can contact him saying, "Hey, didn't agree with your call. Didn't appreciate what you did. Keep an eye on that next time." But to be like, "Hey, I hope you die. I hope you get run over by a car. I hope someone slashes your Achilles," like that is way too far.
Wow,
way too far.
It's
But
like
that's ideally what people were
doing,
though. I mean, you don't hear about PTSD like from most anybody unless you were involved in the war or had some very traumatic accident happen to you as a child, or just even in your life. Like major car accidents can cause people PTSD.
Yeah,
this was a football.
This
game.
man reffed a football game and made one bad call, which, by the way, he still thinks he made the correct call.
Interesting. What does the other guy think? Because one guy was like, he was incomplete.
Yeah, he was a guy that's easily as a man.
Which one was he?
He was the man that called the touchdown.
He did. Okay. Ty does go to the offense technically, but there was. I know we're not going to get back into it.
No, we're not going.
We'll go on
that was
for
3 years
hours
ago. It's dead. We're not talking about it.
Yes, but the fact is that that's still being brought up, and it's something to do with Seattle. Is never something to do with that end zone.
Yeah, it's the same end zone. Monday Night Football in Seattle. I saw a meme the other day that said Monday Night Football refs are the new Seattle's new 12th man.
It really is feeling like that, I swear. Oh, my goodness. All right, well, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, Luke Sebald is in the studio. You're not going to want to miss the interview with him. We're going to hear about his times in the college world and also what it's like to play football with two O's, not a U, in Europe as well. We'll be right back. This is the Bax Grant Sports Show. Welcome back to the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant. Well, as you know, we like to have interviews on our show, and we usually try to bring in people from the sports world that have either played the games or cover the games and just enjoy everything about sports. And right now, it is football season. If you
Love
didn't
it.
know.
Love it.
It's football season.
I'm well aware.
Yes. So we wanted to take a moment. I'm an alum of Wisconsin Lutheran College. You still go to Wisconsin Lutheran College. We wanted to bring in Luke Sebald, who has not only played for Wisconsin Lutheran, but has had quite an interesting story over the last few seasons. So good morning, Luke. Welcome to the program. How are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me, guys.
No, not a problem at all. We're excited to have you here, Luke. You have played football for Wisconsin Lutheran College. You played for 2 seasons with the team. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then you played at St. Cloud State before that.
Yep.
Okay. So you played at St. Cloud State for 2 years. Why did you? Well, we'll start with college and work our way through. So you started at St. Cloud State and then decided to come to little old Wisconsin Lutheran College. What was the draw to move schools?
It was definitely an academic decision. Definitely a great opportunity to get an athletic scholarship, Division II football, but I definitely realized that I probably didn't have a shot at the NFL or making a living off playing football, so I just wanted a better foundation academically so I could have a better career after football was over.
Makes sense, yeah, and so that's why you ultimately ended up choosing WLC. Now, once you came to WLC, you immediately you played your first season in 2013. You received the Conference Defensive Player of the Year for the amount of contributions that you had on defense. During your time at Wisconsin Lutheran, you were known as an outside pass rusher. You loved to disrupt the opposing team's quarterback, make those plays in the backfield. Is going through your collegiate career, going from playing on the defensive side of the ball, is that something that you had always thought you were going to be doing when you won the Player of the Year award? Were you surprised by that? Was it something that seemed like, I felt like I worked pretty hard this season? I mean, when you hear players win awards, sometimes they're very like, oh, I'm very appreciative of it, or I had no idea, kind of a thing.
Going into the season definitely wasn't a goal of mine to, win the personal accolades or whatever. I just want to have fun, get to know my teammates a little better, and just improve the team as a whole and myself as a player as a whole, and that's just kind of icing on the cake. So.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's definitely it's interesting because when people meet you, you're obviously a pretty big guy. I mean, you work out, you play football, but you're also very soft-spoken. You're very relaxed, just kind of like, hey, it's my life. I'm just going through it, doing things, and then we see glimpses of you on the field, and you're yelling, you're running. I mean, obviously that's football. It gets you fired up, but it's kind of funny for those that know who you are off the field. It's like, oh, Luke's kind of reserved, kind of just go with the flow kind of a guy, kind of like Grant. You're kind of 100% one way.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I don't have reserve. I just kind of go
all
out there. Sometimes a little too much.
Yeah. So because of the fact that what do you do to get yourself hyped up? Because I feel for some people that are like kind of like Grant that are always go go go, it's usually a pretty smooth transition. So playing defense, you make your living out of hitting people, so you gotta be like, how do you get your mind ready to go to like, I'm gonna go deck some people now for 3 hours?
It's just the love of the game, It's a way to channel your pent up aggression in a positive light, you could say, and just I've really enjoyed team sports, throughout my whole life, and there's 100 other guys depending on you to do your job every Saturday, and that's all the motivation I need,
And you don't want to let the team down. You got to keep the coach going. And you've always seemed like you had a pretty good relationship with your defense as a whole. I know the Warriors' defense always turned in pretty good seasons in 2013 and 14. Mm-hmm. You were a part of the conference championship team last year. I see you're wearing the sweater this morning, so you're still. Did you bring your ring in with you this morning at all? Oh, gotta show the bling off when you can.
Special occasions.
Of course. Yeah. Now, how did that feel? Was that the first? Did you get a chance to win a conference tournament at St. Cloud at all, or was this your first collegiate conference tournament that you won?
I was part of a conference championship team in St. Cloud, but looking back, I think this championship this last season held a lot more importance to myself, and I think to the WLC community as a whole, being the first one after 15 years of football program. I think this is a stepping stone to improving the program, and hopefully in the years to come we can get some more conference championships and hopefully start making the playoffs with a little more consistency.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think it obviously does. They say defense wins championships.
Oh, yeah.
Something that we're seeing prevalent in the NFL and college football as a whole. Now, you have had some interesting experiences since, you had an interesting experience during college. You had the opportunity to work out for a few NFL scouts. What teams came and worked you out, and kind of talk us through how that whole process came to be?
There was 2 scouts, one affiliated with the Vikings and one affiliated with the Cowboys, but they technically work for a scouting service that 30 of the 32 NFL teams contract out.
Okay.
So they were writing a scouting report for 30 of the 32 NFL teams. It's honestly not as big a deal as everyone made it out to be.
It's still kind of a big deal.
They're just crossing their T's, dotting their I's, make sure they don't,
miss
a diamond in the rough.
Of course.
Just ran a 40 for them, took a Wonderlic, just kind of talked to me a little bit. Just got a feel for who I am as a person, and that was about it.
And then were they looking to fill training camp spots? What was their intent coming in looking for you?
They just wanted to, get the measurables going into the senior year, and then if I would have had, an outrageously spectacular senior year, I think I probably would have gotten a call back. But,
interesting.
That didn't happen. Didn't pan out that way. Got a conference championship instead. So
that's not a bad. I mean, NFL conference championship. It's still pretty good. Let's not lie about that. Now, since you didn't get to go to the NFL, you still got to keep playing football though. And after you played Division III football, sometimes that doesn't always work. It's like, okay, I played 4 years of Division III football or Division II. You played for 2 years as well. Time to go into the real world. Keep going on with that stuff. But you had a unique opportunity. You got to go to Europe and play football. Talk about that experience and where you got to play and how playing football in Europe just seems like a foreign concept.
Yeah, it's normally you're playing football. And
yeah,
kicking
that's
a ball
why.
Into a net.
Yeah, football with 2 O's over there is kind of like a faux pas, like, ooh, football, what are you doing, kind of a thing. So, yeah, Luke, talk us through that situation and how that came to pass.
I think football in Europe still is kind of a hidden culture, kind of a underground community, definitely in Europe, but it's definitely one that's growing. I actually wasn't expecting to get the call. I kind of hopped on trying to get over into Europe a little late, so a lot of the rosters were filled. In Europe, most of the leagues only allow you to have so many Americans on the team, so it was kind of hard to find a spot. But around early March, I got a call from a team in Austria. It was a lower division team, but
they have divisions? They have multiple divisions?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's usually countries where football's prevalent, mostly Germany, Austria, France. More of the Western European countries have leagues.
Wow.
And most of them have, 2 or 3 divisions. And this was a 3rd division team in a little town called Schwaz, right across the German border in the Austrian Alps, about an hour and a half away from Munich. So
wow.
Yeah, I was definitely the only American where I was.
Ooh. Did you stick out like a sore thumb, I'm guessing?
No. I mean, everyone, it's a pretty homogeneous
that makes
population.
Life okay.
Not that diverse, so I definitely fit in. As long as I didn't open my mouth.
It's like, oh, you play for the team. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, I do.
So it was a great experience because it was a lower level team. The football itself wasn't great. It's definitely a team that's still in its infancy. There's only about 20 guys on the team. So,
wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you play a lot of both ways, I'm assuming?
I played both ways.
So I'm assuming you played offensive line and defensive line, or do they have your
I
fullback?
played a little fullback, too.
Okay.
So
you've got some speed on you. You can pull the John Kuhn moves on people.
It was fun.
Are you going to go back?
No. I'm done.
You're done?
Hanging up the cleats.
Oh, no.
I'm getting old.
Is this the official announcement of it, or is it something that you've been...
No, after I was done there, I was pretty certain. Even when I was over there, I was pretty certain I was going to be done.
Just one more hurrah. I mean, how many people can say, I played American football in Europe? I mean, that's a pretty
cool.
big deal,
Yeah,
honestly.
that's pretty sweet.
Well, that's awesome. Well, Luke, before we let you go, we just want to two other quick questions for you. So you've been playing football for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Most athletes have that one player that they connected to growing up. Who was your favorite player that motivated you to want to play football, and specifically the position that you play?
I don't think there's one specific player that kind of motivated me to play football. Just went out for the football team in 5th grade and ended up loving it and kept going. But as I started playing football and started really enjoying the game, I think Reggie White was definitely fun guy to watch. And then a more unknown figure that I really enjoyed watching was Kabir Baja Biamila.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
We
know
Packer
him.
fans will know who that
know
is.
him.
So, yeah, I still have a KGB jersey in my closet that I bring out every once in a while.
He was my go-to in Madden. That's how
You
I
got
always
it. Rush
played
from the
it.
corner with
Yeah,
KGB.
that's what I always did.
I think, he's still the Packers sack leader, I'm pretty sure.
I think he is. I think so. He had a fantastic and historic career. Yeah, it's one of those names that if you're not a huge Packer fan, you'd probably be like, I think he sacked my quarterback one time, but I don't really know the name.
Yeah.
All right, well, the last thing before you, as we like to always ask our guests in their field, what is one of or just a distinct memory that sticks out to you throughout your playing career so far? You've had a lot of games. You've gone from the United States to Austria to play football. I know you've had multiple experiences that I'm sure have really stuck out to you, but do you have one or two that really stand out above the rest and say, this is why I play the game, or this is why I love this game so much?
I think my most favorite memory is probably the Concordia, Wisconsin game last year. Going in, we knew if we won, we had a chance to, claim a part of that conference championship, which is what we've been working for a long time here. And it wasn't a pretty game. We turned the ball over 9 times, and we still, found a way to get the W. So anything can happen in football. That's why it's a great game.
9 times?
Yeah.
Holy cow. I did not realize it was. I knew it was a lot. I didn't realize it was that many times.
I'm pretty sure it was 9.
All fumbles,
lot.
intercept, or was it mostly?
I think it was 5 fumbles. 4 picks.
Was it at
I
least
don't know.
a rainy day?
It was overcast. I don't remember if there was rain or not.
Wow. My goodness.
I remember going to a few of the games last year. It was grounded pound.
You got it.
Just a tough.
It's a unique style of football.
Yeah, it was a tough team. You guys were a tough team.
They were.
Yeah.
They got a pretty good squad this year too, but they definitely missed the presence of it.
You have been losing a lot of close games this year. I believe all within 5 points.
Yeah, they just lost to Lakeland this last weekend.
Yeah, by 2 points.
Must have been that great announcer that Lakeland had or something that caused them to lose. Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This guy.
Anyway, well, Luke, I appreciate you taking the time for coming on the show today. We look forward to hopefully speaking with you again in the future if it works out. And congratulations on the very unique and exciting career that you had. I mean, obviously getting the opportunity to play football post-college in Europe. I mean, yeah, it was Division III, but it was still an exciting time, I feel like, and a memory that you're going to always cherish. So thank you for your time today, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your week as well.
Yeah, thanks again, guys.
All right, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about Batgate or Liongate or Calvin Johnson, Tron, Megagate. I don't know. We're going to start throwing gates on everybody that is a Lions player and figure things out. Chris Gibbons will be here. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back. This is the Bax Grant Sports Show presented by Sports Radio America. Welcome back to the Bax Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I am Bax.
And this is Grant.
Yes, you are, Grant. Yes, you are. How are you this morning?
Okay, you're starting to do that again. You haven't done. Okay.
Who are you? Do I know you? Do you work with me?
You haven't done this in over 20 some episodes, and that you haven't done it since last year.
I used to question you
all the time, and this is Grant. Like, are you really? I'm like, stop.
Why not? It's a little fun to mess with you because if I were to do the same cookie cutter show every day, we'd get bored with each other.
I'm already bored of you and your just rudeness to me.
What?
Your overall rudeness.
Rudeness?
Yeah.
You're being rude right now.
How am I being rude?
I don't know. Anyway, but we want to take just a quick moment before we bring in the Batgate expert. I feel like we have gate experts day.
No. You need to time
Before we
out.
get to that, I want to take a quick moment to remind all of you that you can get us right here on Spreaker.com and Periscope from 7 to 8 a.m. Central Time. You can also get us on Sports Radio America from 11 to 1 p.m. Central, and you can get us on demand on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and on Spreaker.com. Spreaker.com. Anyway. You ready, Grant? You ready to talk about Batgate?
Okay?
I am.
The last minute you've been weird.
I feel fine.
All right, okay.
I've been feeling fine.
See, this is what happens when he gets his coffee in him.
When I get through about half a cup, and it finally,
let's go!
My blood veins are like, oh, energy.
But,
here we go.
Flipdelphia's over walls and
Flipadelphian Thursday was probably a highlight of the show's history.
I loved that. Oh, and the Astros won yesterday,
I saw that.
I was so happy.
Shut out the Yankees.
I was so happy by that. I was like, thank you, Astros. Good for them, because think of the last 3 years before this season.
Mm-hmm.
100 losses, 100 losses, 100 losses. Then they come in this year out of nowhere and make it into the playoffs, into the wild card game, one game wild card, and beat the New York Yankees, which we all know, the New York Yankees. But that franchise, beating that franchise in one game,
it's historic.
Continue on. It was great. I was really proud of them and shutting them out the way they did. It was a good job. So, yeah, little plug for the Astros. Proud of you. Good job. Keep going.
I agree. Well, I feel like we need to appropriately introduce Chris now because he's not just Chris Gibbons of the Bax Grant Sports Show or of Completing the Process, which he helps host that program with Megan Landvater. He is also a staff writer for GBM Wolverine as well. So good morning, Chris. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. This is a little earlier than I usually wake up. I'm just happy that I'm not completely dead for you guys.
Well, we appreciate you finding yourself and coming to so you can properly broadcast with us this morning. All right. Well, Chris, we brought you in because the Lions. So.
Okay. So Chris Gibbons is a Lions fan.
He is.
And there is another good friend of ours. His name is Michael.
Yes.
And he, both of them always, anytime I go on Facebook, I just see Lions hate, as Michael always say, that, I need to find a new team, the Lions again, and then there's just Chris is like, yeah, it's the Lions, we're sad.
It's almost like a recovery program. Yeah. It's like day 443 of being a Lions fan, and we still suck.
It's like AA, like, hi, I'm Chris, I'm a Lions fan.
I've been a Lions fan for 12 years. Last I checked, it's a free country.
They definitely can.
Can we tell them?
Come to the green and yellow
side. I'm too far.
You're too far. No, we lost him. We've lost him.
Come back.
We lost him like a bad fumble out of the back of the end zone that cost him the game. That's how far we lost him. Too soon.
Oh, he went there.
I did. All right, Chris, talk about it. Lions fan, you're driving. You're right there. Calvin Johnson catches the ball at the 5-yard line. He drives to the end zone. And then whoop and whoop.
Yeah, you're thinking,
fumble! Oh no!
You're thinking this is a game. Calvin Johnson, he's like 8 foot 1,000, and he has the ball. He's got muscles upon muscles upon muscles. He has the ball on the 5-yard line. There's only one guy in front of him, even though he got gang tackled
3. Yeah,
later.
I don't know where those guys came from.
Yeah, there's one guy in front of him. You think, this is football game.
Pretty sure they used dig. In Pokemon, they dug under the ground and they popped up, bam, hit him. That was what I kind of thought happened. Anyway.
And then all of a sudden, you got Cam Chancellor flying out of nowhere. Should have stayed in his holdout for you guys. Comes out of nowhere. Falcon punches the ball right out. And then, Okay, Chris, when you saw was it KJ Wright who hit?
Yes, KJ Wright went all badminton on the ball and thunk, smacked
when
it
you
out.
saw KJ Wright hit the ball, were you immediate like, oh my gosh, he can't do that? Or were you like, okay, and then later you found out that it was against the rules?
It was a little later. I knew the rule, but like at the time I was still shocked at just everything that was going on. Like I had no expectation that the Lions were going to win this game.
Yeah, and I think as fans that were just watching from the outside looking in, I was like, okay, Seattle-Detroit, Monday Night Football, probably not going to be a close game. Probably not.
No.
And I tuned in for the last quarter and a half, and I was like, wait a minute.
Seattle's being Seattle and losing the game.
Yeah, well, Russell, when the Lions recovered the fumble for a touchdown, I was like, oh, well, this might be an actual ball game.
Well, because the Lions' offense hasn't been able to do anything by this point.
No,
so at least the defense put them
they start
in the
off the drive with several run plays, and I'm like, all right, they're not looking to win this game. They're going to try to, kick a field goal and tie it. And then I think his name is Wright. Who caught that 30-yard bullet?
Tim Wright,
Yes, he caught a bullet down the seam, and I was like, well, wait a minute now. We might actually have a game on our hands. Like, I remember actually, my wife was sleeping next to me, and I was like, whoa, and she was like, what? I'm like, nothing. Go back to sleep. Because, you don't see a straight bullet through the Seahawk defense very often.
No,
And I was whoa, all right, this might actually end up being something. And I'll be honest, I didn't realize that there was a problem with the play until I saw all the articles the next morning, because the way the camera shot it, you didn't see Wright make the play. I didn't see him bat the ball out of bounds.
I definitely
from the videos that I saw the ball getting punched out. I saw Calvin Johnson losing it, and then that's kind of all they showed, because they immediately panned back to whatever. It's like, oh, all right, that happened. 1st and 10, Seahawks go.
Well, when they were playing it live, because the camera always follows where the ball is. So when I
saw it roll out of the end zone, but from the angle I saw, Wright had his back to the camera, so I didn't see the little whoop with the hand.
You didn't? Okay, because I guess it was actually kind of hard to see now thinking back to it.
I saw him there. I was like, oh, there's a guy just going to shield it to make sure no lion picks it up or whatever.
God. Now thinking back to it, you kind of was hard to see his hand, but I saw his hand, and then I was like, wait. I wasn't like, oh, that's wrong. You can't do that. There should be a penalty. I was like, that's weird. I don't think you could do that. Mm-hmm. And then I go on, and then
and I
all
was like,
of a sudden,
what happened? Because I thought people were making a scuffle out of how Earl Thomas came and popped the ball, and I was like, that was legal. Like, you just forced a fumble.
Earl Thomas or Cam Chancellor?
That too. You know the guy. Cham Thomas III or whatever. That's who we'll call him.
Cam Newton?
Yes.
Yeah.
He plays for the Seahawks?
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Earl Campbell?
Newton-gate.
Newton-gate, yeah. Fig Newton-gate. No. Hopefully not. So, Chris, as a Lions fan, how do you recover from this? How does the team recover from this? And does this go down as one of the worst losses in Lions history?
I don't know if the team can recover from this. Obviously, I think they needed that game to have any hope. Already 0-4. I mean, I don't think the NFC is particularly looking strong right now, aside from a few teams. But I just don't know how, with the way the offense has performed, which has just been bad, I don't see them recovering. I don't know if this coaching staff will stay much longer.
Isn't he a new coach, too?
Jim Caldwell is a new coach, and he got a lot of goodwill for last season, but there were problems, and especially offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi.
I was just about to ask you, how's Joe Lombardi doing for you guys over there?
I'm assuming he's related to Vince.
No, that's his
grandson. So it's got to be his grandson.
So how's is he anything like his grandfather there in Detroit?
What the hell is going on out here?
No one's tackling.
It's basically how they felt the other night. Anyway.
Unless Vince Lombardi spent his entire time with the Packers trying to fit square pegs in round holes.
That's how we won the Super Bowl.
That's what.
Bart Starr up the middle. Go, Pack, go.
Because he's trying to turn Matthew Stafford into this game-managing quarterback, and that's just not his style.
No, not at all.
Like, I see this on Twitter when I'm watching the game all the time. People who aren't Lions fans are like, what happened to just the play where Matthew Stafford throws deep to Calvin Johnson?
That works.
It works.
He's big.
And
he always wins.
They don't do it anymore, and that's because they're trying to minimize risk, but at the same time, you're not playing to Calvin Johnson's strengths. You're not playing to Matthew Stafford's strengths.
Yeah.
You have a guy that can throw deep, and you have a huge
He's
receiver
got a cannon of an arm
that can blitz down the field. Why not exploit that?
Yeah.
I mean, Calvin Johnson is one of the best
yes.
wide receivers in the league, and he is undoubtedly one of the biggest receivers in the league.
Yeah.
And Matthew Stafford, like we just said, has a cannon of an arm.
Well, and let's be honest, too, it doesn't all stem from Stafford. The rush offense has been atrocious this year, too. They're last in the NFL. They average 47 yards a game. You're not going to win a football game rushing for under 40, 50 yards a game. That's not going to happen.
Right.
And that's what I'm wondering if with Amir Abdullah, then, if the pick just kind of, like, I think he's a good player. I think he's going to have a great career. I see the way he runs hard-nosed football, but I'm concerned about that. Do they miss maybe getting rid of Reggie Bush? Did they make a mistake?
I don't think so, because I think it would be worse if they had Reggie Bush, because Reggie Bush has happy feet in the backfield. And like, he'll try to make a play, and sometimes it works, but he's no Barry Sanders and can break through. Amir Abdullah is a guy who's going to hit the hole, and he'll at least get a yard or two.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed. He's very good at being able to break away tackles. He's shifty, but he at least is moving. Not like Reggie Bush, where it's like, I'm going to salsa dance in place for 5 minutes, and then, now I'll move. It's like, no, you got to be moving while you're juking. Now, you guys have the Lions have a very interesting next slate of games.
Yes.
Is that correct? I mean, Grant, why don't you walk us through the next 4 games for the Lions?
Well, the Lions go and face the Arizona Cardinals next. So that's going to be a tough challenge. And then you have a couple divisional games.
About time.
The Lions are playing the Bears and the Vikings coming up. And then the 4th game will go up to 4. It's the Kansas City Chiefs.
So you guys have – wait. You guys have 4 home games in a row? What
I
the heck is that crap?
No, it's not giving the
It is,
little
yeah,
at
because
symbol.
look. Oh, no, it's not. Why did they add with that? What the?
It's
Okay.
just all the Lions games are played at home now, I guess.
That doesn't make any sense. No, because they're adding at the other ones. Anyway, that's awkward. Anyway, so you take on Arizona this week. Maybe ESPN's just messing with us this morning. You take on Arizona this coming week. Arizona's coming off of a loss to the Rams. If you're the Lions, do you have any glimpse of hope saying, well, if the Rams did it, we can do it?
I think there's a little bit of hope. I think there's a little bit of hope in like having almost beaten the Seahawks at home, or like the Seahawks in Seattle.
That's a confidence booster.
Yeah,
If you're
little
Detroit, you have to take something out of that at least, don't you?
Yeah, it was a freak play that lost the game, and you just have to go back in. I mean, the Lions have had a rough schedule. Like, going into this,
Very
I
true.
knew it was going to be bad.
They have played the San Diego Chargers. They lost 28-33. Then they lost to the Vikings 26-16. Then they lost to the Denver Broncos 24-12, and then of course Monday night to Seattle 13-10.
Yeah.
So those 3 out of 4 of those games
Yeah.
were away. The only home game was against the Broncos. So that was 3 out of 4 were playing away against some tougher teams. That is a really tough start to your schedule. But then the Lions now do have the Cardinals, Bears, and Vikings all at home. So a 3-game stretch for the Lions
They could
coming
potentially
up.
turn it around.
Yeah, I could see the possibility of the Bears game because the Bears aren't really all that good. So there's a possibility to pick that game up.
Lesser of two evils, I'd probably take Detroit in that game.
Right. And then we just talked about the Cardinals. And then the Vikings, they're kind of one of these kind of Rams almost. You don't know if they're going to show up or not, or are they really good or are they not. They're more middle of the pack, so you never know with that. And all of those are at home. So there's definitely some chance for the Lions to pick up a win or 2 in there.
Absolutely. All right, well, Chris, before we let you go, one last question. Do you, as a Lions fan, miss Nick Fairley and Ndamukong Suh on the defensive line?
I wouldn't say I miss them particularly much. I definitely don't miss the Sue discussions. I'm happy that
somebody else can deal with it.
Someone
now, right?
else can deal with that. Nick Fairley wasn't that much of an impact player. Maybe now I'll start to miss just because Tyron Walker is out for the season. He got hurt in the Seahawks game. Just an atrocious illegal block that broke his leg.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was
not pretty.
It was not pretty. And so but I was confident in Tyron Walker is a guy who kind of made a name for himself in the offseason and kind of let his actions instead of his names find him a team. And then, of course, there was getting Haloti Nada, who's been pretty solid at tackle for us.
He has, yep. He's played fairly well so far this season. All right, well, Chris, thank you for your time today. We appreciate it. Where can the good people find you on Twitter, sir?
At Chicken McGibble.
You heard him right, Chicken McGibble. All right, thank you for your time, Chris. We'll hopefully be speaking with you again in the future about maybe some more positive Lions news. Hopefully. All right, enjoy the rest of your day, bud, and good luck on your good luck to the Big Blue this weekend as well for you. All right, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to finish up things and talk about the latest Bax and Grant Sports Show power rankings for Week 4 of the NFL. We still have some pretty fairly new teams. We have some pretty consistent teams, but we've got a few new teams in the power rankings.
Yeah, it's been shaken up.
We're gonna talk about that. We'll be right back. This is the Bax and Grant Sports Show. Welcome back to the Bax and Grant Sports Show, presented by Sports Radio America. I'm Bax.
And this is Grant.
All right, Grant, we've had a great show today. We've chatted with Luke Sabald, former Wisconsin Lutheran College football player and traveler abroad as he went to Austria.
That's so cool.
I love it.
That is
I thought
so
that was awesome
cool
that he got to go play there. I didn't realize that they had 3 divisions of football in Austria.
Austria. That is just awesome. Like, he's just like such a chill guy about it too. He's like, yeah, it was only a team of 20. It was like no big deal. I'm
Play
like,
a little fullback.
Like I'd be like, that's so awesome.
He's just such a reserved guy. It's so cool.
Yeah. It was really cool though. If you're just tuning in now, definitely go back. We're on Spreaker.com. You can just search the Bax Grant Sports Show, and you can just search for us today and. You just go back. It was our 3rd segment, I believe, of the day.
Our 3rd segment of the day.
Our 3rd segment, so about middle of the episode, just click on listen to it. It's actually really interesting.
It is.
So I'd give that a listen.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Grant, you know what it is. It's Wednesday, so we are going to be talking about our latest power rankings here on the Bax and Grant Sports Show, courtesy of the Bax and Grant Sports Show staff. Everyone has cast their votes, and now we will see if somebody will be offered as tribute or not from District 12. All right, anyway. So our team's looking in this week. I've officially killed Grant. He's done. He can't even do it. You knew I had to work it in somehow.
You always do.
You're welcome.
And it's great because that whistle when my child is being annoying and not shutting up and crying.
Yes.
He really did. When I do the Hunger Games whistle, he's just like, what?
Like, my people.
Yeah, so
they're calling for me.
It's just like a funny little special thing for me because it means I can buy myself like 10 seconds of silence. So that's just why that whistle for me is just like, oh, LOL.
Whatever. I mean, as long as it works, that's the best part about it. All right. Well, our new power rankings this week, looking in for the 2nd week in a row, we have a 3-way tie for technically 11th and a 2-way tie for 12th. So the 2 12th place teams are San Diego and the New York Giants. Both of them received 1 point in our voting. The 11th place team looking in is the Minnesota Vikings, Buffalo Bills, and Pittsburgh Steelers, all receiving 2 votes each. Not really surprised by that. I mean, Minnesota might get in there eventually. Buffalo was 7th last week in our power rankings. Pittsburgh
I'm surprised
was
that
9.
Buffalo dropped.
Yeah, so they both completely plummeted out of our power rankings. Our number 10 team this week has not changed from last week. The Seattle Seahawks get 14 total points. They stay at 10th. Grant's not happy about that.
I don't agree with that at all. They should not be in the list. I personally don't think they should be in the list.
Yeah, they've been hot. They've been cold.
They are a 2-2 team that have barely won their 2 games. And one of those games was against the Detroit Lions, where they should have won, and they only won because of a missed call.
And the only other game that they have won was against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, so I mean, you're beating up on the weak NFC North teams that anybody can beat up on, and you're barely beating. Well, they didn't barely beat the Bears. They beat the Bears pretty soundly, but it wasn't like a big blowout. It didn't look good.
No,
but that one was fine. I don't really care about the Bears game, but the Lions game.
Yeah. Exactly.
No.
Yeah, that's how we feel about the Seahawks being on number 10.
We just have Seattle lovers in this.
Woo.
I'm calling you out.
Okay, call them
Shots
out.
fired.
Tell the people how you feel. All right, our number 9 team on our power rankings this week is they made their debut. It is the St. Louis Rams with 22 points. The Giant Killers as they took down the Cardinals last week.
I'm actually a little scared for the Rams to play the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Rams are actually kind of my second favorite team. Because I did used to live in St. Louis, and I like St. Louis sports and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, the Rams, hey, go Rams! So and
rah rah rah, go Rams!
And
go.
the Rams last week just took out Arizona.
Rams. That's Jets.
Yeah, you
Close
can't
enough.
take that from the Jets. That's too cool.
That's
I really do like the Jets. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
But St. Louis Rams taking out Arizona this last week, and like you said, the Giant Killers also beating Seattle.
Yeah,
and then they're going into Green Bay. It's a home game, I believe.
For the Packers, yes.
Yes, yeah. The Packers do have a home game against the Rams, but still, that's scary, especially that the Packers did not have the strongest performance against the 49ers. So
it's true.
That's a little scary.
Cause for concern.
We'll talk about it when it's coming up. We'll have Packer game preview.
Yeah. You're not going to want to miss that one for sure. All right, our number 8 team on our list is the Carolina Panthers. They have 29 total points. They're undefeated. They are the lowest rated team of the undefeated teams on our list. But even still, Carolina, they've done enough. They've done a fairly good job, but they did not warrant a lot of happy votes from our staff this week.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot because of just schedule, strength.
They haven't played anybody.
Just who they play. Yeah.
Beat a real team for once. You know?
Right?
Exactly. Our number 7 team, the New York Jets, they make their debut on our power rankings this season. They have received 30 total points. They have grabbed the 7th spot on our rankings. Jets have looked good. They won in London, and now they're 3-1.
Yeah, and in my opinion, next to the Arizona Cardinals, I'd say the New York Jets are the second best 3-1 team right now because their defense is absolutely just on point right now, and you're Bax is doing weird stuff with his bow tie. He's
on fleek.
He's getting all upset over something. I think somebody was being savage. But anyway, yeah, the New York Jets, Darrelle Revis playing really great this year. That Jets defense is really standing out. Ryan Fitzpatrick did miss a lot of throws against the Dolphins. He was not very accurate. But in the previous weeks, he has proven to be a decent quarterback and able to start and lead the Jets offense. So a little less of a performance from Fitzpatrick against the Dolphins on Sunday, but overall, really good spot. I think 7 is a little low for these guys. I think they should be a little higher, in my personal opinion, but still good to see them on the list.
Talking about the Bax Grant Sports Show NFL Power Rankings for Week 4 as voted on by the Bax Grant Sports Show staff. Our number 6 team this week is the Atlanta Falcons. They have received 50 points. They're looking really good. They were at 5th place last week, and they are dropped down to 6th this week. They've been looking pretty good, honestly. We'll be honest. I'm not worried about Atlanta. The team's ahead of them. That's just kind of how
they could honestly go
week.
Undefeated, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, our 1 through 6 teams kind of are going to continue to cycle because that's all it is. The teams that we have in the top 6, some of them just flip-flop positions this week. That's all it came down to this week. So our number 5 team is the Denver Broncos. They were 4th last week. They have received 60 total points this week. They are in 5th place. They were 4th last week. Denver Broncos, in my opinion, the weakest out of the undefeated teams.
Next to Carolina?
Next, I would take Denver over Carolina.
Okay, so you would
in a
say,
game.
Okay, so you would say that Carolina's the weakest 4-0, but Denver's right behind them?
Yes, Denver when you're undefeated should be in a different class, and I feel like they're in the same class as Carolina right now.
Like the undefeateds that just haven't, or that will be defeated eventually,
yes,
or that
they're in that, not they got a chance to stay undefeated. Those are our top 2 teams.
All right, okay.
All right, our number 4 team is the Arizona Cardinals. They dropped from 3rd last week. They are now in 4th. They received 62 total points in our voting. The Cardinals, they lost to the Rams, but the voters did not punish them for that too terribly. They only drop 1 spot.
And it's hard to win them all. And the Rams, they're one of the messy teams, or those screwy teams that you just don't know what's going to happen with them.
And that's why I think you only can take it for what it's worth,
right.
Because it's like they lost to the Rams.
The Rams, they're not a bad team.
No.
So I'm not too concerned with the Cardinals losing to them as long as Carson Palmer, I know, the Fupa, stays healthy. But still, look at what happened last year with Carson Palmer just getting injured and the Cardinals team just dropping. So if Carson Palmer can keep his legs or his body or his arm or whatever it was intact, I don't see the Cardinals team having a problem just because how dominant they've been playing. Like at 2 weeks ago, 2 pick sixes for the defense. The defense was just absolutely killing it. And then you have Larry Fitzgerald. Still, I don't even know how old the guy is. He's been playing in the NFL for forever, and the man is still a beast. He can still just burn you down the field with the speed that he still has, and he still has a decent amount of speed for being how old he is. So Arizona, still a great team.
Yeah, he's looking very well, honestly. I mean, I think the Arizona Cardinals got a good product this year. I'm curious to see how far they can go. Our number 3 team making a jump from the 6th spot all the way to the 3rd spot is the Cincinnati Bengals. They have 73 total points. They're looking good. They jumped from 6th last week to 3rd this week. Cincinnati, they're one of those teams that you're like, well, they're actually pretty good. Not gonna lie. Our number 2 team for the 3rd week in a row is the New England Patriots. They received 5 first-place votes, and they got 94 total points. 94. They just missed it. Missed the first-place spot.
Like for me, I obviously I put Packers first, and that's what I always do. But the only reason I did that is
stuff in the ballot box.
Yeah, I was really tempted to just go 1 through 10 Packers again. But
this is why we can't have nice things.
If I honestly, if New England played, if they just played anybody and won, I probably would have put them first, just based off of how the Packers played. But because New England had a bye, it's just like.
Yeah, they didn't move. They didn't move, so and that's fine.
That's I just put them there. I'm like, we will come back to this when they play another when they play a game, and then we'll go from there. But they just didn't play a game. So
all right, and our number 1 team on the Bax Grant Sports Show Power Rankings with 5 first-place votes and 95 total points is the Green Bay Packers. Well done, congratulations, Green Bay. All right. Wow. So glad we had that moment there. Goodness. I just was going to let you go on that one. Anyway,
I could have gone. I could have done, like, play-by-play, you know?
You could have, yeah. I'm glad you didn't go
full
with that.
I could have done, you know, when they do the replays and it's all dramatic and they have, like,
but thankfully you did.
Hardcore
so
music.
Yes. Anyway, all right. Well, one more time with our power rankings before we head off. Looking in, we've got Minnesota, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, San Diego, and New York. Giants, they're all hanging right on the cusp. Number 10 is Seattle. Number 9, St. Louis. 8, Carolina. 7, the Jets. 6, the Falcons. 5, the Broncos. 4, the Cardinals. 3, the Bengals. 2, the Patriots. And for the 3rd week in a row, number 1, the Green Bay Packers. Thank you for the staff that voted. Let us know your thoughts on our power rankings. Do you like them? Do you not like them? We love hearing from you. We are going to take off for another edition of the Bax Grant Sports Show. Remember, you can get us right here Monday through Friday from 7 to 8 a.m. Central, live on Spreaker.com and on Periscope as well. Even though we're a little tilted, our camera dropped on us, so we're like on the floor. Help us! And you can also get us on Sports Radio America from 11 to 1 p.m. Central Time on SportsRadioAmerica.com, live 365, and tune in, and then on demand anytime you want on iTunes, iHeartRadio, and on Spreaker.com.
You can also find us on Facebook at the Bax Grant Sports Show. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at BG Sports Show. Baxter is at Baxter Colburn, and I am at Grant BGSS.
All right, and we will see all of you tomorrow. David Kenyon will be here. You're not going to want to miss it. And Megan Landvatter is going to talk about the Milwaukee Brewers. And what?
Yes, one thing quickly. Bax, you said earlier when the Packers won the Super Bowl, all you had to do is have Bart Starr run up the middle.
Yeah.
I'm just going to point out that was not the Super Bowl. That was before there was a Super Bowl.
Before it was cool to be a
that
Super
was
Bowl.
the NFC. That was for the NFC. That was for the championship.
Yes.
Against the Dallas Cowboys.
I am corrected. Forgive me. The Ice Bowl, I think, is what that
yes.
was. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, he's Grant Coppersmith. I'm Baxter Colburn. And special thanks again to Luke Sabald and Chris Gibbons for stopping by on the show today. We'll see all of you tomorrow. Enjoy your Wednesday hump day, guys. Have a good one. See ya.